The number of connectivity options for customers are growing really fast. Today, we're starting to see in most markets 5G just starting off, but in 5 years' time, there'll be far more deployments, far more sites, much more radio access available for 5G. So definitely, that's going to be one of the connectivity options customers would want to exploit. But on the satellite side, we would start seeing a lot more of the geo high throughput satellite capacity having been deployed. So a lot of the Ka-band high throughput speeds, etc., which customers would be able to use, and of course they would be able to deliver very low costs as well. So that would be available in 5 years. Of course, all the constellations that we know would probably already have most of the satellites launched and fully available. So that would be another connectivity option for customers. And then, of course, within the NGSO, you would also have the MEO constellations, which would, you have the likes of O3b, then you have Mangata, and a lot of people who are kind of coming forth. So a lot of these connectivity options would be available in 5 years. So a lot of rich options for customers to choose from for their networks. A lot of these different applications require different capabilities from the networks. For instance, you have applications such as, let's say, mobility and markets like mobility. You have traditional markets for enterprise customers, and within enterprise customers, you have the usual branch connectivity, but you also have very interestingly a lot of things like IoT, etc. More and more, the organizations and enterprise starts digitizing their daily applications. The more and more applications will. So each one of them really has the ability to use this. So at one end of the spectrum, you have applications wherein at a single site, you may want to have 2 or more connectivity options in them. For example, let's take one which would probably be an early adopter would be, let's say, mobility. So in mobility, it's not so much about latency, etc., but you definitely need a lot of speed to be able to serve the passenger experience in the cabins, and you also need coverage. And in many places, you don't really have a lot of routes or a lot of service, but definitely for that one flight that flies over a region, you need coverage. So you will start seeing them adopt a multi-layered connectivity approach, wherein they would combine 2 or more of these, put it on an in-flight service within the plane, and use that as a service offering to the customers and passengers. So that's one. The other is the connected enterprise, wherein across the enterprise, a CTO or CIO would want to connect all the employees and provide service for the organization, and they would want to use the best connectivity options that they have. So again, at a site, they may have 2 or more, or they may choose a variety of these connectivity options to fulfill their needs. For them, it would be a multi-layered approach to connect their organization, and so it's going to be a mix of these options that customers use. Definitely, for the service provider providing this multi-layered approach, you're looking at giving the customer a blended approach for performance, so that all the heavy applications can go, or the bandwidth consuming applications can actually be carried over the connectivity, which is low cost but gives you a lot of capacity. And then you would want to provide high reliable connectivity over those networks and options which are probably going to be more robust. But they may be little higher in price, etc., but they'll be more robust for the customer. Latency could be a requirement, again, for which certain applications have to go over low latency routes, like maybe 5G or LEO networks. So putting all of this together would become very important for the customer, and in the end, that's what he would want to see that my users see a seamless experience for all my applications. And so that's how it's going to come together. Today, Hughes already has introduced what we call as a HughesNet Fusion service. in the North America market, and that's for consumers, wherein within a single service, a customer gets geo satellite and LTE as a singular service. And for them, they don't come and ask, they don't know that there's an LTE in it or a satellite in it. They just get service. It's an all-inclusive service. It's a single bill to the customer. So they see that they get the performance of for some of the applications which require low latency, the LTE service is great. And wherever they need bulky, fast performance, etc., which sometimes the LTE network may not be, a terrestrial network may not deliver, satellite steps in. So for them, it's a seamless experience, and at the end of the day, they subscribe to one service. So this is the kind of approach would be needed for multi-layered services. So the customer sees a single entity. He doesn't have to manage all the layers separately. He gets a single bill. Most importantly, on technology, we will have to start leveraging technologies like software-defined wide area networking techniques, so that the customer's applications can automatically be routed over the best connectivity for the best performance. And then I think for enterprise, providing services like security or SOC, security operation centers would be very important on this layer. So I think we'll see more and more of this in the next 5 years. As the customers start seeing so many different connectivity options, they would definitely be looking to somebody who would be able to provide them a single point of contact, who will give them a managed service for all their needs, for all their applications, for all the sites. And I think that's increasingly going to be something which organizations, enterprises would want to opt for. They would want to get somebody who has the ability to not only orchestrate all of these connectivity options, deliver the performance, but then also make sure that they have a secure delivery and a very secure network at the same time. So absolutely, I think it's going to open a lot of options for service providers and integrators to come to use all of these exciting new connectivity options that are going to be coming to market and offer it as a blended service to customers.